Hi, I'm Joe with 323C Lockdown. I'm a junior and my jobs on the team are intake and lift designer, operator, and I do maintenance on the robot. This video is for the Create US Open.
My name is Gavin. I'm a programmer and competition coach.
I'm Corbin. I'm a sophomore, and I'm the driver and drive designer. I'd like to talk a little bit about our drive. It's an X drive based off Mechanim wheels. An X drive basically means that if you pointed to the middle of the robot, of the drive, and measured the distance from the middle to each of the wheels, the distance would be exactly the same. We have 4 motors that are 4 393 motors geared for high speed, which gives us the strength and the speed we need to push through any obstacle. Also, the weight distribution on our drive enables us to move the lift up and down with no trouble tipping.
With that being said, when we were coming up with the design for our lift, we wanted something that was really stable. So we ended up choosing a New Zealand style lift. It's a 4-bar lift with 14:1 gear ratios for the lift part. And then I wanted to add to that later on in the year, so we added a tilt system. So here's the lift going up, and then we added a tilt which has a 18:1 gear ratio, which is definitely the most difficult part about building our robot, was getting the gear ratio correct and running well with our tilt speed-wise. So here is our tilt, and that will lead us to our intake. As you can see, we have a double mechanical claw, and we have 2 claws to make it more stable for grabbing the skyrise piece, which helps a lot during programming and just cutting seconds off our time in competition. It also can grab 3 cubes at a time and score it backwards.
Our robot's name is Fury 3.0, which means that this is our 3rd version. After our first competition, we sat down and we thought, we need to make a few changes, and since then we have made a total of 6 changes. At first, our robot could only score cubes on the small post. Then we added a 4-bar, which enabled us to score on even the tall post. After that, we changed our New Zealand style to a tilt. Then we added the skyrise grabbers that enabled us to pick up the pins. And then finally, as of right now, we are able to pick up 3 cubes. From these simple schematics in our engineering notebook, we can completely disassemble and reassemble our robot from scratch.
In my program, I have 3 integrated encoders. 1 for the tilt, 1 for the drive, and 1 for the lift. In my program, I have dynamic holds and dynamic braking for each encoder, which make for more precise movements. Definitely the hardest part this year for me was programming in the holonomic drive with functions. But after I got the functions, it was a lot. I understood it, and it was a lot easier for me. The proudest moments that I had for me as a programmer was when I went to Heritage Christian Team 6210 and helped them get into Robot C, help them learn how to program it. But as a team was when we reffed state IQ competition. Now we're going to demonstrate how we can score.
One of our strengths is scoring 3 cubes at a time, so here's the robot scoring 3 cubes on a high post. And that's all. This is 323C Lockdown.